Every 6 months, someone publishes a post explaining that Rust is going to replace C++. Every 6 months, the Chromium codebase adds another million lines of C++. Both things are true simultaneously, and neither side seems to find that interesting. In today's video, we're going to figure out what replacing actually means in practice, look at which C++ is genuinely under threat and which isn't, and give the Rust wins their due without turning them into something they're not. It is May 18th, 2026, and you're watching Runtime. When people say one language replaces another, they usually mean something very specific. COBOL replaced by Java, right? Except COBOL still runs trillions of dollars of financial transactions, decades after Java was supposed to have handled it. Replacement at scale almost never happens. What happens instead is that the new thing captures new projects, while the old thing quietly keeps running the existing ones. Rust is winning new projects in certain domains. That is categorically different from rewriting decades of C++. Here's the thing the replacement narrative skips. It lumps all C++ together, when the actual landscape is several completely different industries that happen to share a compiler. Unreal Engine is C++. HFT systems running on co-located servers are C++. Scientific computing on HPC clusters, CUDA adjacent, MPI adjacent, 20-year numerical lineages, is C++. Embedded firmware for hardware with no standard allocator, a vendor toolchain from 2011, and a chip manufacturer that has never heard of cargo is C++. None of these are the same problem, and Rust's ergonomic story runs into a different wall in each one. Chromium is somewhere north of 35 million lines of code. Unreal has been accumulating C++ since the mid-90s. The big trading shops have execution engines where the cost of a full rewrite isn't measured in engineering hours. It's measured in the regulatory certification, the audit trail, the institutional knowledge baked into every comment. Nobody is rewriting these. Incremental Rust adoption at the edges is on the table. A clean slate swap is not. Now, credit where it's due. The wins are real, they're just more specific than the headline suggests. System tooling, rip-grep, the entire category of fast CLI utilities that used to be written in C, Rust owns this now. Network services, parsers, infra components that need memory safety guarantees and are small enough to greenfield, real Rust territory. And then there's the kernel. Linus Torvalds signed off on Rust as a second implementation language for Linux, and driver code is being written in it today. That is not a small thing. The other part of the story that doesn't make it into the hot takes, what it actually costs to bring Rust into a C++ shop. The FFI boundary between Rust and C++ is not a handshake. It's a negotiation with paperwork. CXX, bindgen, manual lifetime annotations at the boundary, and a build system that now has to be two build systems loosely bolted together. Then the hiring picture. The pool of engineers who can write production Rust and already know your C++ domain, game engines, say, or quantitative finance is not large. Training engineers is an investment with a real timeline. None of this means don't do it. It means the cost function is more complicated than the benchmarks suggest. Here's what that whole story leaves out. The C++ committee noticed. C++ profiles, contracts, safe annotations, the safety roadmap that Bjarne Stroustrup has been pushing in papers since 2023, C++ is moving toward the safety guarantees that Rust has had since day one. Slowly, with 20 years of backwards compatibility dragging behind it like an anchor, but moving. Rust's biggest impact on the industry might not be the code it runs. It might be the pressure it applied to a language that was otherwise perfectly comfortable staying exactly where it was. Rust isn't replacing C++. It's replacing the C++ that nobody wanted to write in the first place, the system tooling, the network daemons, the parsers, the places where you needed performance and safety and didn't have 40 million lines of existing code holding a gun to your head. That's a meaningful win. It's just a different win than the headline. This has been Runtime. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.